Hello and welcome to this guitar lesson. This is going to be a great one. I'm going to show you how to play Parisienne Walkways by Gary Moore, which is a magnificent electric guitar solo. And I'm going to show you all the chords. And the great thing is, I'm going to give you a backing track of the chords. I'm going to play the chords so that you can play the solo over the top. So it's like the equivalent of having another guitarist with you to play the chords. It will sound incredible. And also, this song is a great opportunity for you to practice improvising. And I'm going to show you some of the scales that you can use to improvise over these Parisienne Walkways chords. But of course, I'm going to show you the main solo, the main bits you want to learn. There's two main solos and a solo at the end. And there's also a section where Gary Moore does a lot of improvisation. Now, I'm not going to show you every note he plays with the improvisation because I'm not Gary Moore, you know, I don't know what he's playing. He's playing ever so fast. But that section that's the place where you can improvise your own solo. So this song is a great opportunity for us to do that. So, what I'm going to show you is going to sound like this. There you go. That is what I'm going to show you. It's not difficult. You can play it. It's magnificent. And we're going to start with the chords. Okay, so the first chord is an A minor. It's nice and easy, these chords. So the A minor is the first finger on the second string at fret 1, the middle finger on the fourth string at fret 2, and the third finger on the third string at fret 2, right behind it. Now, as usual, make sure you're arching these fingers up. The back of that third finger should not touch the second string, and the back of that first finger should not touch the first string. So with this A minor, strum the 5 strings. So that's strings 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And make sure they all sound clear. If they don't sound clear, you might have to just rearrange your fingers a bit. Make sure you're arching them up, okay? It'll take a bit of practice, but that's okay. Just pause the video and get that. So, the way we're going to pick it, using a plectrum, or using your fingers if you want to, you're going to pluck strings 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's nice and easy. And you're going to do it twice, like this. Okay, pause the video and practice that. Now, when you do it twice, that is what we call a bar. That actually occupies 4 beats of length, because it's 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2. That's how the beats work, like that. So this is 1 bar. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to move on to the next chord, which is a D minor 7. Put your first finger flat across strings 1 and 2. Hold them down flat at fret 1. Now arch your middle finger over onto the third string at fret 2. As usual, make sure the back of that middle finger is not touching the second string, okay? And we're going to use 4 strings on this chord. That's the 4th string open, and then the ones we're holding down. And it's going to go like this. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, pause the video and practice it. Now keep that D minor 7 on, and we're going to put a G on the bass note. Now what that means, you keep the chord, you put your third finger on the 6th string at fret 3. Now it doesn't matter what the chords are called, but I tell you anyway, this is now a D minor 7 over G. That's what it's called because it's got a G bass note. Sometimes in music books you see a chord and then a slash, you know, a forward slash, and then you know, a note, and that's what that means. That's that chord with a bass note under it. There we go. Now we're going to pluck the 6th string as the bass note now. So we're plucking 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Very good. Next chord, C major 7. Very easy. It's the 5th string at fret 3. I'll use my 3rd finger and the middle finger on the 4th string at fret 2. And you're going to pluck 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And in actual fact, the 3 strings we're picking there are open. So it's like this. Now you're wondering, why are we using the middle finger if we're not even plucking that string? Well, it's a chord, and that means you can strum it if you want to. Okay, so you've got that option. So it's better to have the fingers in place, so they're correct. Okay, next chord is an F major 7. That's the 2nd string at fret 1, the middle finger on the 3rd string at fret 2, and this finger on the 4th string at fret 3. And you're going to pluck strings 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, twice, like this. Very good. I'm going to keep going to the end of this chord section and then I'll repeat them and demonstrate them in slow motion. So the next chord is an unusual chord. It's called B minor 7 flattened 5th or something like that. It's the middle finger on the 5th string at fret 2, the 3rd finger on the 3rd string at fret 2, the little finger on the 2nd string at fret 3, and the 1st finger on the 1st string at fret 1. Now, just look at the chord diagram, so you make sure you've got that right. And we're going to pluck 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3 twice. Very good. Next chord is an E. You probably know an E already. It's the 3rd string at fret 1, the middle finger on the 5th string at fret 2, and the 3rd finger right behind it on the 4th string at fret 2. Okay, now with the E, we're using the 6th string open as our bass note, and we're going to pluck 6, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. So a slightly different picking, like this. There you go. Look at the tab to help you, to make sure you got the correct strings, right? Now we're going to finish on an A minor, back to the first chord that we started on, but we're just going to do what I call a stop, like this. Because that's what Gary Moore does in the song. So we're just strumming the strings, and then I'm using my palm to just stop the strings dead, like that, just really abrupt. And also a little trick is I'm using my thumb to gently touch the 6th string so that we don't hear it, so that it doesn't make a noise, because we don't want the 6th string in an A minor. Okay, now there are the main chords. Let me demonstrate them to you. Here goes. You're going to be playing the lead solo over this in a minute. I'm going to show you that in a second. Finish on the A minor. Now, I'm going to keep going and demonstrate how the chords go throughout the song. And you can watch me because it's based on the very similar chords. There's a few bits that are slightly different, and I'm just going to explain them as I go along. So, let's go straight into verse 1, where Gary Moore starts singing. And it starts exactly the same with the A minor. D minor 7, exactly the same. Over G. C major 7, exactly the same. F major 7. B minor 7 flattened 5th, the same as before, but we're just going to do half a bar. So you know what that means. You just do those notes once instead of twice, okay? And then we're going to do the other half of the bar on an E chord. Okay, you get the idea. Now we're going to go to an A chord. Now you know an A, it looks like this, but we're going to do it flat using a bar. So this first finger is laying down on the 4th string, flat across the 3rd, 2nd, and the 1st string, even though we don't really want the 1st string, but there's no choice. And you're going to go like this. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Now keep that bar there. We're going to go to, this is really called a B minor over A. You're going to put your middle finger on the second string at fret 3. Keep your eye on the chord diagram to see what I'm doing. Put your third finger on the fourth string at fret 4 and the little finger on the third string at fret 4. Now you'll notice the fifth string is still open and you're going to pluck those strings, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to do a stop, but on the A instead of the A minor like we did last time. Now this is the point where Gary Moore comes in with the second solo. Don't worry, I will show you the solos in a minute. We're just getting the chords out of the way. We're just laying the foundation. Now on the second solo, he doesn't start on an A minor, he goes straight into D minor 7. Over G, carries on the same, C major 7, F major 7, B minor 7 flat. And then, after you've done a bar of B minor 7 flat and fifth, we're going to do a B chord. Okay, how do we do a B? You put the root note on the fifth string at fret 2, and then we want strings 4, 3, and 2 all held down at fret 4. So I'm using this finger flat. It's a mini bar. Okay? So use the chord diagram to see what I'm doing. And we're plucking 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Like that. There's your bar of B. Now we're going to do half a bar of E. You know what that means. We're going to do half a bar of F. Now we haven't done F so far in this lesson. We've done F major 7. The difference with an F is the first finger is flat across the first and the second string, both at fret 1. And then the middle finger is the same on the third string at fret 2 and the fourth string at fret 3. That is an F. And you're going to do the other half of the bar is F. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do an E stop. There you go, okay? I hope that makes sense. Now this is where Gary Moore holds the note and he sustains it forever. Well, not forever, but if you've listened to the CD, you'll know what I mean. Now, when he eventually comes back into the solo, we continue on to the D minor 7. Over G. C major 7, F major 7. This is all the same. And then, so that was half a bar of B minor 7 flat and fifth and half a bar of E. Now at this point, that's where the kind of main sections end. This is the point where Gary Moore starts improvising, and he goes on for minutes and minutes and minutes, and obviously he's an incredible guitarist. You know, his solos are just amazing to watch, and this is where you can improvise too. So the chords that are going on are half a bar of A minor, half a bar of F, half a bar of A minor, one beat of F, and what that means is just plucking 4, 3, 2. Okay, one beat of E minor. That means putting your middle finger on the fourth string at fret 2 and plucking string 4, 3, 2. Strings 3 and 2 are open, obviously. And we repeat round that, so let me demonstrate. Repeat, okay? And that goes round and round and round. Quite honestly, I don't know how many times. It's probably 24 times or 36 times or some multiple of 4 or 8 or something like that. Okay? Now, when you listen to the backing track that you got with this lesson that I've recorded for you, you can improvise over this bit. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Now once that's gone round and round and round, eventually the end solo, I call it, is like this. Half a bar of A minor, half a bar of F, and you repeat that 3 times. A minor, finish. plays the 5th string at fret 5, the 5th string at fret 7, the 5th string at fret 8, and finishes on the 6th string at fret 3. That's what the rhythm does. That's what the bass player and the rhythm guitarist play. Does that make sense? And then you finish the song on the A minor. Okay, now, of course, I've explained a lot. Of course, all this is in the PDF document that came with the lesson. I just wanted to do a real thorough job of explaining all the chords in this song from start to finish, okay? So I've given you plenty of information there. Now it's time for the solo. And the good news is it's not difficult, it's not complicated. You're going to be able to learn it very quickly. Now I'm going to put the distortion onto my amp, and I'm very lucky. I've got a lovely Marshall amp which is fully valved. Now if you know anything about amps, the valves are what create that fantastic sound, but you don't have to have a fully valved amp. You could just use a distortion effects pedal, or you know, some of you have got multi-effects pedals, you know, like a Boss or a Digitech or a Roland, or there's all sorts of different makes. So I'd encourage you to, if you haven't got distortion, go to a music shop, get a distortion pedal, or these days you can do it on software on the computer. You know, these days you can plug your guitar into the computer, and then you know, software like GarageBand or Logic or Pro Tools might be able to emulate this sound. Okay, I'm using a little bit of echo pedal as well, but I'm going to switch that off for the lesson just so you can hear what's going on. So the first 3 notes that Gary Moore plays is like this. So that's the 5th string at fret 12, give it a pluck, and you just hold it for a second and then you slide it off like this. Okay? And then you just let the note stop there. And then do the 6th string at fret 12. And then the 6th string at fret 8. We're going to start on the 2nd string at fret 15. Now my camera is zoomed in on my guitar, but just so you know, this is fret 12 on my guitar. Most guitars have got 2 dots at fret 12, okay? So make sure you're in the right place. That's fret 12, this is fret 15 here, okay, on this dot. Now, you're going to give it a pluck, and I'm using these fingers on the string to help push. So you're going to pluck the 2nd string and you're going to bend. Okay, now a little secret is to use the palm of your hand. This is advanced stuff now. Use the palm of your hand to touch the strings that aren't being used, and that stops those other strings from making noise. Because what a lot of beginners do when they do you know, a note like this, they'll go and they'll get the note they want, and they'll also get all the other open strings. So the way we stop that is we use the palm of our hand to help. And also there's times where you can use your other fingers on your fret hand to also mute certain strings. So that's how we get that clean sound. You know, you just got to practice that. There's no easy way around it. That just comes with experience. You know, I can't explain that really other than what I've done. Here we go. Release the bends and then just play the normal note on the 2nd string at fret 15. Step down onto the 2nd string at fret 13, and then fret 12, and then the 2nd string at fret 10, 3rd string at fret 12, and then the 3rd string at fret 10. So it'll sound like this. There you go. And then you're going to go. So that's the same bend again. You're going to bend the 2nd string at fret 15 and then pluck it normally with no bend. And then the next riff goes like this. So what you're doing there is bending the 2nd string at fret 13. Remember, I'm using that finger, but I'm using these fingers on the string to help push. Release it, play it at fret 13, fret 12, fret 10 on the 2nd string, 3rd string at fret 12, down to fret 10 on the 3rd string, down to fret 9. And then you finish like that with the bend again, okay? I hope that makes sense. Now the next part goes like this. So what that is, we're bending the 2nd string at fret 12, but this is what I call a mini bend. You're only bending it a little bit. That's a semitone. because you're bending it up so it sounds like the note at the next fret. Whereas normally when we bend a full tone, like the first bend, that's to make it sound like the note that's 2 frets higher. I hope that makes sense. So the one we're doing now is a semitone bend. Like that. And then release it, play fret 12, off to fret 10, 3rd string at fret 12, down to fret 10, and then fret 9, and then finish on the 4th string at fret 12. And then of course, you always finish with the same bend that you started with. And the last riff goes like this. Right, so that's the 2nd string at fret 10, and you'll notice I'm just using these 2 fingers to help push this time. I'm bending with the middle finger, like this. Release it, like that, off to fret 9, 3rd string at fret 10, 3rd string at fret 9, and then the 4th string at fret 12, off to the 4th string at fret 10. There you go, that's the solo. So let me demonstrate that entire first solo. It's going to sound like this. There you go, you should be able to get it sounding like that. And you'll notice I had a little bit of echo with my echo pedal, and there's also a little bit of reverb on the amp, which makes it sound like nice. Now, time for the second solo. It's going to sound like this. Okay, it's very similar, it's very easy. So, 2nd string at fret 14, 2nd string at fret 15, 2nd string at fret 17, 1st string at fret 15, bend the 2nd string at fret 18, release the bend and just play that note twice. Like that. And now the next riff goes. So that's the 2nd string at 12, 13, 15, 1st string at fret 13, and then bend the 2nd string at fret 16. Now what I'm doing, I'm bending the 2nd string at 16, but I've also got my 1st finger on the 1st string at 13, like that. And you pluck both strings, the 2nd and the 1st string. And it just makes it sound a bit cooler. You don't have to do that. Now, the note you finish on is the 2nd string at fret 17. Pluck it twice. Okay, and then it goes like this. So that's the 2nd string at fret 10, 12, 13, and then the 1st string at fret 12. Now do a similar type of bend. We're bending the 2nd string at 15, but I'm putting my 1st finger on the 1st string at 12. It just makes it sound cooler. Release the bend and play the 2nd string at 15 twice. And then the last riff. So that's the 2nd string at 9, 10, 12, 1st string at fret 10. Do the bend with the 2nd string at fret 13, 1st string at fret 10. And then play the 2nd string at fret 13, and then off to fret 10. Let me demonstrate with the echo. There Now, this is where Gary Moore goes back into, you know, singing a verse. Now, then he gets to a solo where he holds that bend on for ages. It's the normal solo. It's the first solo we learned. We call it solo 1 if you want. And he holds the first bend. Now, the way he sustains that is because he's got his amp turned up so loud, because he's on stage at a big rock gig, that when you play the note, the sheer volumes keeps the guitar resonating, and that note keeps going. You can't really do it if you're playing quietly. It just doesn't work, okay? But so you can do that if you want to. And so the solo he does there is the same as solo 1. Okay, there you go. Now, once he's done that, he gets to the improvisation bit, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about the improvisation at the end of this lesson, but what I'm going to show you first is what I call the end solo that goes with the end chords. Okay, this is all explained very clearly in the PDF document, so don't worry, I'm giving you everything. This is all the parts you need. So the end solo goes like this. So let me explain that. Bend the second string at fret 15, release it and pluck the string, go down onto fret 13, 12, third string at fret 14, and then we're going to go, that's the first string at fret 13, bend, release, off to 12, second string at 15, and then second string at 13, and then that's bending the first string at fret 17. So release, off to 15, down to 13, down to 12, and then bend a mini bend. That's a semitone bend on fret 19 on the first string. So you don't have to push that hard. Release, and then off to 17, 15, 12, finish on the second string at 13. There you go. And you can finish the whole song on an A minor. Right, there you go. That's the 3 solos, okay? The first solo, the second solo, he then repeats the first solo, and then we've got that end solo. That's all the main bits you need. You now know all the chords and all the solos. Now, what does he do in that improvisation section? Answer, I don't know. He improvises. He's incredibly good. I can't even begin to figure out what he's playing, and there's no need to, because you can improvise too. Now, over the top of the chords that you've got, this backing track, or you can get a buddy to play the chords if you want to, because that's cool. You're going to improvise. And here is the type of scales you can use, because we use a scale as a set of notes, like a template to work from, and you can pick and choose any of those notes and it'll sound cool, okay? So a scale is a template, it's like guidelines. Now, have a go at this scale. Try this. Okay, so little finger on the 5th string at fret 12, and then the 4th string at 9, 10, 12, 3rd string at 9, 10, 12 again, 2nd string at 10, 12, 13, 1st string at 10, 12, 13, up to 15. Now that is a group of notes that you can use to improvise your own solo. For example, you see, I'm just using those notes and I'm just making it up as I go along. Pick and choose them, okay? You can just experiment with this. Now here's another set of notes that you could also work with. You could also do the 5th string at fret 12, starting with the 1st finger, and go 12, 14, 15. 4th string, 12, 14, 15 again. 3rd string, 12, 14. 2nd string, 12, 13, 15. 2nd string, 12, 13, 15. So that's just a different group of notes. They're the same notes, but just in a different position on the guitar neck. Now here's another position you could try. This is the one I showed you in free lesson number 7, the minor scale. The 6th string, fret 5, 7, 8. 5th string, 5, 7, 8. 4th string, 5, 7. 3rd string, 4, 5, 7. 2nd string, 5, 6, 8. 1st string, 5, 7, 8. Now, I've given you 3 very quick scales there. I want you to practice them. I want you to play them forwards and backwards. Get used to playing those notes. Use the backing track that came with this lesson and improvise. Use those notes to make up your own solos. You can bend the strings, you can do whatever you want. You can do hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, you know, anything, and you'll be able to hear what sounds good and what doesn't. And you can use your own ear and trust yourself. Go for it. Give it a go. That's the only way of learning. And if you practice that enough, then you too can become as good as Gary Moore and you can do incredible solos. It's just practice. Just experiment. There you go. That is Parisienne Walkways. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. See you in one of the other guitar lesson songs soon. Goodbye.